And we're here on the euro dollar 15 minute. If this is the first video you're watching today that I've produced, then you won't know that I've said in every video that a couple of hours ago we had the news out to do with Brexit, and that caused momentum, and we saw a momentum move as well in the euro dollar. This is the candle here, and it's actually giving us a pattern, and this pattern is a breakout pattern to the upside, and as a result of it I'm able to play for the full extension of the fibs. That's a 1618, the golden means. And in this instance what I like to do, because it's extremely busy at the moment, so I can't do a full top-down analysis for the video, but if you watched the one earlier today where I sold the market here and we came down to just a few pips away from my target and was 50 pips up, and then took me out for break even. And what we've done then is we have we were in trend first of all, 3-point move, we saw the pullback, we came down, almost hit targets, now we came up. Now doesn't matter that we violated this because this is our last outside return. So if I put a structure level on here, you can see that as yet we have not violated that level. So very important, we have not yet violated it, and so the market is not telling me it can go higher. However, I can make some assumptions based on what the lower time frame is telling me, and we try not to make assumptions within trading. I certainly try not to do that. I try not to have a bias on the market. I try to let the market tell me what it's doing, and then I simply do what it tells me. But there are some times when we get a setup like this and it's a breakout pattern to the upside, and if it breaks out I then am able to play for extended targets, and it gives me a very good risk to reward. So I would be silly not to, even though the market as yet has not confirmed it's going to go higher. So you can see here we now have a little bit of head and shoulders action going on. So if I do this, you can see here we have the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder has also been formed. We've also broken the neckline, okay, but we didn't break this top one here. For me, I do need the RSI confirmation, we do have it, but let's drop down the time frames. Now this is a slanted neckline, and to be honest it's slanted the wrong way. Ideally we would have wanted this section higher than this section, because that would just indicate that we're going higher. But nevertheless, these things are not perfect. So here is the 15 minute, and it's a bit of an ugly one, but here's the momentum move, and this is going to be a high and tight flag. May not look like it, but it certainly is. So here is our touch. There. So we've got two touches either side, okay, and let's just draw it out. I like to look at the fluid movement within the channel, and here drawing out you can clearly see it. Now the only problem with this is it would have been fantastic if we had made that violation, that break to the upside already. That would have really given us the confirmation, but it hasn't, and so we're taking this at structure. So we have to be wary that when doing that we can sometimes get the bounce off the structure level. It can sometimes spike down and stop us out before rallying on to hit targets, or it just may reverse. But this for me is a high and tight, and based on the setup and the head and shoulders that we've got, this is a trade I'm quite happy to take. And if we do get this breakout, what I'm just going to do is put my fib on here. I'm going to remove all the lower fibs and just keep the higher range ones, the 127, 141 and 161. And so usually I would look at taking profits at the 127. However, if I put a structure level on here, it comes in at, yes, we do have a level here, and we're in the middle of structure here, so we have that one level. However, if this is the head and shoulders, and as I say we've now broken out, head and shoulders are a rotation pattern, and typically we can see a retest of the highs, and that's exactly what I'm going to be playing for here. So we've got head and shoulders confirming a rotation. We didn't get this shoulder here, the high, unfortunately, but we do have a pattern which is indicating a breakout to the upside, and if we break to the upside, guess what that does? This new high here is higher than that high, and so we could see this and then a continuation. And if we look left for structure, well, our highest point is up here, and guess what? This point comes in right at the 1618 extension, so I actually want to be 2 pips below that. Okay, so reading the market, what could the market possibly do? What's it telling us it could do, and what is the potential we can get out of it? And certainly if we have the potential to go for extended targets, I will do that every time, because going for a 1618 extension compared to a 127, you know, it's another 40% there in terms of pips. So I've made sure that my stop is in an appropriate place, and what that means, it is below this spike. Just let me clear this up a little bit. It is below this spike that you can see here, where the arrow is pointing to. And let me have a look. I've ensured as well that the stop is just below this level here, because it could just spike down and test that level, and I want to be a few pips underneath it. And so in terms of risk, I do like these to be color coded. It's part of my routine. So this will be a 1 in, 1 out. I'll make that green. So risking here 24 pips, hoping to get the extension for 56, so more than a 2-to-1 risk to reward there. Let's come back and see if we can get those targets. And we're back for the last part of the video on the euro dollar. And after I made that video, it was actually just before I went to bed, I had another look at this trade, and I changed my targets to the 127. Now if I just go out to the 60-minute time frame, you can see that we've hit the 127 and retrace now. So after I reviewed this and re-looked at the heavily slanted neckline, looked at where the 127 is, and I did mention in the video that we had this level of structure, my overall bias when I looked at the higher time frame is bearish, even though we had this violation. So I did change targets to that 127, and we did go up and hit those targets. I am glad I changed them there now, re-looking at the market. That banked 33 pips.